When is the best time to buy your propane, your fertilizer, your crop protection products, even your seed for next year? Well, today that's what we're going to talk about, is the timing on these purchases.
Unfortunately, the timing is not normally, hey, right when I want to use it, it's going to be at the lowest price of the year. I mean, think about that winter coat that you've got. Did you buy it in the winter or did you buy it early on? If you bought it in the summer, chances are you got a good deal on it. And if you bought your lawnmower in the winter, you probably got your best deal on that, right? Because it's all about, well, when do people need it? And if everybody's trying to buy it, well, then the price is generally the highest. And when nobody wants to buy it, that's oftentimes when the price is lowest. So think about all the things that you're using on your farm. When is the time of year that nobody's buying?
Here's the other thing. When crop prices go up, then a lot of these input costs go up. When crop prices go down, a lot of the input costs go down. Okay, so when you ask yourself, how is this year's crop? How about acres planted? What kind of yield are we going to have in the fall? So if you try to do what the government does and predict acreage, yield, overall supply, demand, all those things, here's where I'm going with this. For me, I think commodity prices are going to continue to go up, and I'm almost 100% certain of that. Okay, so if I feel that personally, then I want to go ahead and start buying things now before I believe they're going to run up in the future.
Here's the other thing. What are you doing with your grain for next year? Are you locking in all those prices? If you are, you probably want to think about locking in some costs too. And I know when you're excited about, wow, we had a good little move in the market and I want to take advantage of that and reward that market by selling some grain, that's cool. But you also got to lock in those costs too, because you want to lock in a profit margin, or at least as much as you can. Now I get it. You're not locking in 100% of your crop and you're not locking in 100% of your inputs. But if you're locking in 25% of your crop, it might not be a bad idea to start thinking, you know, nitrogen's a pretty big component here for me in my corn production. I'm going to lock some of those prices in too, because if the market starts moving, like Brian mentioned, it won't be long and the nitrogen market will be up higher too.
Okay, so let's talk about the logic of each of these decisions. With propane, as soon as I saw all the late planting in the spring, I started buying propane, and I would say if you haven't already and you go, boy, I'm going to have some wet corn this fall, it's probably a good idea to be buying propane. My belief, and we could certainly be wrong, I don't know, but I'm just speculating that by fall, with all the wet corn, there's going to be propane prices are going to be higher. Darren, talk to us about seed. When are the first seed discounts available from the seed companies?
You know, oftentimes those first seed discounts may come as early as August, but a lot of times it's September and October, so be prepared. Talk with your seed provider, look for any opportunities. Here's the other thing. When we had trouble getting our crops in, guess what happened with seed production? Very much the same thing. They had trouble getting in on some of those acres. Who knows what yield is going to be in some of these seed production fields? There may be some shortages, especially in the new products. And if you've got new products that you say, wow, this one's a whole new level of Gauss's wilt tolerance, or this one's a whole new level of yield that I've never seen before, lock those things in as early as you can to make sure you get supply and the best price.
All right, when it comes to fertilizer, it's really hard to know if now is going to be the best time versus the spring. But for me, I would like to get my fertilizer applied in the fall. So really the question for me is just, am I going to buy now or am I going to buy right in the fall? Well, I strongly believe that we are going to see higher crop prices. So over the last 10, 15 years, fertilizer prices have followed crop prices. So we're trying to buy fertilizer right now to get ahead of that.
When it comes to crop protection products, there's a few things at play here. One is that some of the major crop protection companies have a year end at August 31st, and they may have some incentive to get some additional sales in this year because there are a lot of unplanted acres that didn't get that crop protection that they had forecast, and certainly those big companies like to meet their goals. So there may be some deals at the end of the summer. If not, generally September is a great time to start buying some of your major inputs as it begins a brand new calendar year, and those companies like to get some sales on the books.
One of the things you may not have heard about is there was an enormous plant explosion in China back a few months ago. Well, because of that, the Chinese government shut down a lot of plants in that area, and there are some products that are going to be in shorter supply going forward, at least for the next probably 8 to 12 months. Because of that, we don't see crop protection prices coming down on a number of items. Now, there are a few things that could come down. Glyphosate may be one of them that might come down just slightly. So if it was me, I would say, you know, I might buy some stuff in July and August, but what I'm probably going to do is wait until September. And the reason why we want to wait until September is because usually with the big companies, that's when they have their fill programs, that's when they have their deals for retailers, where literally they can buy in September and get next year's terms. So with prepaid discounts, that brings it back to a lower price than what you can usually buy it for in July and August. So that would be my suggestion, is I'd really be taking a hard look at buying your crop protection products in September this year.
Well, as you can see, the times to buy certain things for the farm may vary just a little bit, but generally from year to year, they're pretty stable. And if you think about these things, mark them down on your calendar, start talking with your dealers and get into those patterns of buying when the prices are a little bit lower. It can do nothing but help you on the bottom line. Well, one other thing that'll definitely help your bottom line is controlling our weed of the week. We'll show you how to stop it later in the show.